Hey everybody, Greg here at the Joy of Aquascape, and I hope you're keeping well. Just want to do a little bit of a vlog, this week's vlog, on how things are going here with the fish and with the ponds. It's been absolutely insane the last couple of weeks with storms. It's just been bonkers. I got rain, big old chunky raindrops landing on my head from these branches up above me. So many branches have come down. It's just been crazy. I didn't get the vlog out last week. My apologies. I've just been kind of concentrating on keeping myself safe, keeping the fish safe. Absolutely, of course. Roof blew off the pond, gates blew down, my internet's gone at the moment. I need to fix that now as well. That's a nightmare. Found that gate blew off, pulled out its foundation and ripped up some of the wires that were buried beside it. Painful stuff, but we can get that sorted. Just need to find my kit and splice together some Cat 6 cables now. Fun. In the rain, because of course. But we'll get all that sorted. But anyway, back to the blog. I am at the moment doing a bit of a water change in the pond here, the in-ground pond. I'm gonna have to clear some of the leaves and stuff that have come down, because whatever leaves were left after the winter came down this last week, and they just ended up everywhere, including the wetlands bog filter on this pond. Give you a look at that. I'm gonna start getting this thing topped off before it gets cold and darker, because it's getting there now this evening. And we need to check in on the koi and on the other goldfish pond as well. Let's see how everybody's doing. See, these guys are up top. That means they're a little bit on the hungry side, and it is a little bit warmer now than it has been the last couple of days. Up around 10 degrees. Doesn't really feel it, but these guys aren't suffering too much from wind chill, that's for sure. You can see I've dropped the levels down a bit, and we've got a ton of stuff here on the wetlands bog filter. We've got twigs, we've got leaves. Need to get some of that stuff out. And yeah, we're gonna get a little bit of that tidied up here now, and also get things top off here as well. Isn't that right, buddies? And let's get these fed. Now, we're not going too crazy here. Just a couple of basic flakes, just broken up into small parts. Stuff that'll go through them before the next time it gets super cold, because, well, that's always on the horizon here this time of year. And yeah, let these guys have a little bit of an El Munch. Nothing too big, nothing that's really going to fill their bellies. Just something to keep these guys going. Keep those fat levels up. Love that fish. Big beaut. And I will be doing a little bit of an update on these guys specifically later this week, because these single-tailed Arandas, they're all hybrids between Aranda and single, just common goldfish. And these guys have been doing exceptional. But I'm going to get the hose on, get that going here, a little bit of dechlor, and I don't think these guys have realised yet that there's food happening. Guys, they'll learn. They'll find out quick enough. And we'll let these guys have a little old snacko. But we can see some of these are just, oh, I love the patterns on them. Anyway, video update coming on that later this week. Dechlor is already in. Putting this down this end, it'll just make its way up, fill the whole pond. These guys are definitely having a little bit of a snacko. They're actually getting through that stuff quite quickly. Not going to overdo it. Really important this time of year. There will be a cold snap again soon enough, and I do not want these guys suffering for it. And this is a pretty nice spot here at night, I have to say. Had every intention of getting like a little chair and putting it here, but it's been a cold winter. We'll do that for the summer for sure. I just noticed that my little 3D printed bird feeder here for Chrissy had fallen down, so I'm going to fill that up now in a second with some bird seed. But really happy to see loads of the wild primrose. It's getting a little bit darker here now, but loads of the wild primrose is starting to flower. This was all stuff that was kind of dotted around, and I just moved a bunch of it over here so that we had some nice flowers. This whole area here is kind of full of wildflower seeds, so really hoping this area comes to life. At the moment, it is looking like Jurassic Park out there. I love this section of forest. It is just gorgeous. I went in and like methodically took out all of the branches, because we got loads of like little oak trees and stuff here on the edge, a couple of beech trees. And the problem is, all the new branches start growing. Like we'll get a ton of new growth on all these little branches growing straight up, and again, hard to see, but a lot of branches just shoot out straight up. The problem with that is, as they start growing then and getting a little bit bigger, they don't get big enough before the next big wind comes along. They all break each other off, and they all just come raining down. And when they end up on top of all the ferns, it ends up kind of difficult for the ferns to keep growing. Some of those leaves will break and they'll grow back and stuff like that. But what I've been doing is I've been going in and keeping them clean and tidy. I've been making sure that they haven't like got too many little branches blocking them up and stuff like that. I don't know. But I want this section, like, and this section has grown so much better than any of the rest of it around here. But this is what I'm looking at from here beside the pond, and I wanted to keep it super clean and super tidy, so I said, why not go ahead, and it's definitely working. They're growing so well. Even my little fern here beside the pond is still doing all right. Doing exceptionally well, actually, considering it's more out in the open than exposed and stuff. But yeah, that's what I've been doing. Because yeah, if they're covered in little branches, they're just not gonna grow properly. So yeah, it's still super Jurassic Parky back here. Look, I love it. I think it looks awesome. And this is a great spot for all the little birds as well. You have a couple of birds of prey that hang around here as well and just fly around through the gaps here. And just gorgeous. And a huge big squirrel. And there's my 3D printed bird seed feeder, I should say. I'll get that filled as well. My goodness, light levels are dropping. Let's take a look at the koi pond.
The koi are doing super well here now at the moment. All just up, and the goldfish, of course, just up having a bit of an El Snecco. The water is a little bit murky. That's kind of a byproduct of having a wetlands bog filter. It's a great system for breaking down ammonia and just getting rid of those nitrates and nitrates, but unfortunately, it just doesn't consume all those fine particle media. Not at this time of the year before all the roots have grown in. Got a couple of feeds here, this feed and this feed. They're going in, but the good thing is we can see it is the wetlands bog filter. It's working out. We've got pretty clear water coming back into the system here. That's the main thing. So the filtration is taking care of these guys, even though it is a little bit run down compared to other times of the year. But this will all grow back and be a complete, fully integrated system. By the time spring comes around, these guys really get eaten. They are consuming such a small amount per day. Realistically, for the amount of fish in this pond, they're just not creating a whole lot of ammonia at the moment. It's the sturgeon that really needs to get a bit of food every day. It's only when the temperatures drop really low that the sturgeon is gonna stop eating, below kind of 4 degrees. No actual shark sighted. I don't know where that sign came from, but yeah, pretty suitable for the pond. Now, this is what it looks like when it's covered over. Keeps the herring out, as well as absolutely everything else. It's funny because this stuff here, I got this from my goldfish and they just weren't interested. That was €100 for the tub. These guys, they seem to love it, so we'll give it to them.
Now, this lot have already had their dinner. A little bit left there at the moment. There's Batman and Mama Bear. Hey, how you getting on, buddies? And they're all doing super. Did a little bit of a water change in this yesterday because the water temperatures were up a little bit. It's been too cold to do as much water change as I normally do, so you just reduce down the feed by a feed a day, and that's taking care of that. It means that we've gotten all build up. Everything is staying nice and equalized. Hey buddy, what's the story? This big giant monster is getting a new bit of wen growth. We can see that little white dot on top of his head. So he's always got some wen growth happening though. These guys are doing great. Wetlands bog filter is actually growing like crazy. These reeds are doing very well, and we can see they're all growing up and hinting that. And you can see every time they get close that they shoot off these new little green shoots. Yeah, so they grow up, kind of hit the top, then they start shooting out all these little kind of side shoots. Super cool. So these are really kind of flooding this wetlands bog filter, and I'm okay with that because I absolutely love these guys. They're awesome. And here's the cleanup crew, hard at work. See if we can get a better look at these guys. They're just absolutely everywhere, going about their business and doing their thing. Kylo Ren, the little wren that comes in and swims around here every day, is still getting them, but as you can see, he's not making a dent. There are just so many of them in here. And they're what keeps everything nice and clean. Now, had a little bit of an issue with, we had a lot of storms here, and my roof started leaking. Basically ripped the top off the roof. So I'm going to have to go in and fix all that up. Bit of a nightmare. Hey buddy, there's Batman in his little sleepy sleep snoozy snooze area there. Loves this spot because there's a little bit of a current comes off from the water that's coming up. It's nice and warm as well because it's running past the heater. So a lot of fish love that spot actually. Batman, always there. So there's Batman, his big giant Ryukin buddy. Oh my goodness. Mama Bear must be seriously put out because she was always with Batman. Two of them were just, they'd go everywhere together. Still do, but when Batman's resting up over there in his Batcave, this guy here, who he was in a tank with like maybe 3 years ago, and they were in the previous pond together when they were small fish, just loves hanging around here with him. And like, he does annoy Batman, he just be like getting up on his tail and stuff. There's B. Love that telescope mirror. And yeah, Elodie Adensa is fighting its way back. I've got loads more in buckets and tanks and aquariums. Yeah, no, everybody here is doing well. But the main story this last couple of weeks has been the storms that we've had. It's been just absolutely crazy. It's been dangerous as well outside, so haven't had the dog over as much. I haven't been outside there as much. It's just been a case of keeping these guys safe, staying safe as well myself. Fortunately though, it's a little bit better at the moment, and I'm going to take this opportunity just to get everything nice and clean. And that's the thing, when you've got storms, you have to stay safe, keep these guys safe. Now this is a heated pond, remember, so these guys, it's warm in there. It's like 15, 16 degrees constantly. And doing water changes in winter on a heated pond is tough. It's not easy. It's probably the most difficult aspect of keeping a heated pond somewhere like Ireland, is making sure you've got your water changes done. It's dictated to a certain extent by the weather. Now, there's two ways of doing it. Do a big water change when the weather gets good. Sometimes you have to do that. It's your only option. The other way is a little trickle for a long period of time, because what you don't want to do is get rid of all the water and do a big replacement with cold water. That's not good. That's not good at all. Air temperature is about 10 degrees at the moment. That's about the same as what the pond is. So I can just dump that water in for those guys. That's okay. A full throttle. But if the water coming out of the hose was much colder, I'd really want that just to be a trickle, because I wouldn't want it to reduce down the overall temperature by too much in the one go. That's what you try and do. Just keep the temperatures equal, maintained, make sure that there's no big shock to the fish. And in this pond's particular case, make sure that what you're doing is not losing all that heat energy that you've paid for. Because if you have to heat up the whole pond again after dumping the temperatures right down by putting loads of fresh cold water in it, you're going to shock the fish, you're going to shock your electricity bill as well, and that's not good for your fish keeping hobby. And so yeah, no, they're expensive enough as it is without doing that, but it's bad for the fish. It's not good for them. So it's a little bit of a challenge this time of year. I have done a podcast on keeping fish over winter. That's linked in my bio. It's on my website, thedriveaquascaping.com. And yeah, I'm probably going to do a live stream here on YouTube later this week. I don't know if anybody's interested. If you are, let me know in the comments. And let me know, guys, are you keeping goldfish outdoors over winter? How's your experience been? Have you been dealing with storms? Let me know how you guys are getting on with your fish keeping down in the comments too. But that's it, guys. Gonna wrap it up there. I'm gonna get sorted out with this internet. Oh my goodness, I hate replacing Cat 6 cables. It's just a cable I don't enjoy doing. Anyway, gonna wrap it up. Fish sorted. We'll get this internet sorted so I can get this video uploaded. If you're watching this, you'll know it's done. Cat 6 cables are done. Anyway, that's it. Talk to you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.